Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to my Avoid Tax course. I just want to do a quick introduction about. So today we're basically going to be talking about tax exposure, especially since we're planning for 2026, right? So uh, the plan is every Friday we just come here, discuss briefly, right? At the moment, the course is not ready. I'm still working on the curriculum because I don't want a one hit wonder. I'm just trying to organize it so that once you get your access, you really don't need me all the time. Although I'll be available on Fridays like this for Q and A's, right, where we discuss and learn from each other because life is a learning process, right? And also give support like I had earlier promised, even in the next year as we file and try to stay compliant and avoid tax people wahala, right? So getting right into it, like I said, is a two-in-one course. The course will be ready sometime in late November, right? And we have a community like this where we discuss on what's it called now on a weekly basis. The idea of the community is okay. If you have any questions, anything you don't understand, right? We'll be able to discuss all of those things here. And for the course, we help you with things like okay, you want a recorded video on how to file your taxes, explain the things in total, just have a structured way, right, of the tax, what the Nigerian tax is all about, the different taxes, right? That is what the course will be focused on. While we, on a weekly basis, we come here to basically discuss the challenges, anything that is confusing us, and I'll do my possible best to understand, to try to explain and make you understand, basically how we treat all of those things in practice, right? Because like I always say, I've read the tax bill, and beside that, I think one advantage I have is I've been doing this for over 7 years now, so I pretty understand the Nigerian system and how it works, right? Whichever way you want to look at it. Okay, so that's about that. So let's get straight to the day, right? So we're talking about tax exposure. The first question is who is the taxpayer? Basically, the taxpayer is anyone who does business or generates income in Nigeria. That's a taxable person, right? Um, a taxpayer is not somebody who is dependent. A taxpayer is not somebody who does not have an income. So for you to be able to pay tax, first of all, you must. So taxes are a function of revenue and income, right? It's not, you are not paying it from your pocket money. You're not paying for money that they sent you for rent. The manager. And all of those things. So there's a function of revenue and income, right? So basically, that is who a taxpayer is, right? Uh, Note this is going to be a very short class because I really want us to be interacting every now and then, right? Uh, the different things about taxes, all the percentage, advantage, all of those things will be contained in because we probably will not be needing them till next year. So I'm going to take my time and make it very comprehensive, detailed, so that when you actually get access to the course, right, it will be very simple to understand. But the focus of this class is to basically clear some myths, have discussions, understand the implications of taxes come next year, right? So I'd like to say there are two different type of tax payer. We have the individual and the corporate, right? By law, there are basically two people, right? The company is a person, individual is also another person, right? So that's why the company pays their income tax, the individual pays their income tax. Again, for I say for here, the individual taxpayer, this is an individual who is working or doing business to earn an income. This could be through salary or a business name enterprise, right? Then corporate, this is a legal entity, right? Separate from yourself that is recognized by law with the right to do business, sue and be sued, and is liable to taxes, right? So it's an entity. You as an individual are an entity. The company also is an entity. So the next thing now, we're going to look at the common taxes, right? The common taxes you really be worried about if you're even going to be paying taxes. These are the common ones uh, you should be worried about. The first one on my list is the company income tax. Right, this one is taxable, is owed by limited liability companies. That's the company entities. Like I said, these corporate taxpayer, right? These are the people that owe this tax. So if you have LTD in your CAC, you fall under this category, right? Um, then the next one is the value added tax. So basically, every business, every registered business pays this tax, right? If you are dealing on vatable goods, so there are certain items or goods that are not vatable, right? So as long as you are dealing on vatable goods, again, like I said, all of those things, like the list of all the value added goods and services, all the exempts and all of those things, all of those materials will be provided in the course in due time. So that basically is not the focus. The focus of these sessions is just for us to be able to discuss, right? Okay. Then we have the personal income tax, which is the pay as you earn. I call it pay as you earn because it is a graduated scale. It is not in any particular percentage. Okay. So that's for that. And the next one, or the next one we should be concerned about, is withholding tax. So basically, this is an advanced tax that they charge you, right? So for basically certain transactions, right? And yeah, basically, so let's say you're rendering a service. The person that is meant to pay you is the one that charges this particular VAT. They withhold that money and pay it on your behalf. So that's the whole idea of withholding tax, right? So talking about since we're talking about exposures today, I decided to like, okay, what are the different businesses and what are their tax exposures, right? So I decided to bring it out. And knowing that, okay, there are people who do not have registered businesses, right? And all of that. I also decided to add them, which also falls under the table, excuse me, which falls under the table of the individual. So, and I listed the common taxes that they will be paying and trying to see, okay, what is their exposure? What are they liable for, right? And the first one on my list is personal income tax. As you can see, everybody is liable to personal income tax. So whether you own a business name or you own a company, or whether you're migrating or you're not migrating, right? Whether you're just an individual, everybody owes personal income tax, right? The next one is the company income tax. So the company income tax, the individual does not owe company income tax for obvious reasons, right? They are not individuals. I mean, they are not corporate entities. Only corporate entities owe company income tax. And the business name does not also owe company income tax, right? They are not liable to company income tax. Then the next one on my list is payee. If you can see my table clearly, you see that under the individual, the only tax they're owing is what's it called now? Uh, is the personal income tax, right? Every other thing is basically red because if they are just an individual, they are not really empowered by law. They don't have any kind of company ID to, or they don't have the authority by government to charge people any of all of these taxes, right? So it's actually business entities that have the authority to charge that. That's why even if you are an individual, you are doing business over 50 million, 100, whatever it is, right? You cannot charge all of this because you are not empowered by law to charge, right? The only people that can charge any of all these transactional VAT are either the business name or the limited liability companies, right? So now that we have that on top of the table, the next one we have is payee. Payee are basically staff members that you have. If you have staff, right? As long as you have staff, whether you're a business name or a limited liability company, for the ones that you're paying within the tax bracket, obviously you have to charge them pay and remit it to the state government, right? All of those things, like who to remit to, and all of those things will be put in details in the course so that we understand what our compliance responsibilities are, right, come 2026. Okay. So we have VAT. VAT is value added tax, like I have earlier mentioned, which is the 7.5 on sales for vatable goods. Again, business name and company are liable to VAT. It would I would like to state something here before I forget, right? Currently, from next year, which is 2026, the threshold for to pay, so using the company threshold, the threshold to pay company income tax is 50 million. That is no longer news. It's interesting to note that once you need to understand that that same threshold of 50 million, when it comes to what's it called, VAT and withholding tax, right? That threshold applies. So for you to be able to charge VAT and withholding tax, you need to basically be a big business, right? And by definition in law, big businesses are businesses that have turnover and revenue of over 50 million. So as a business name, right, you need a turnover of over 50 million before you can charge VAT and withholding tax, right? So that same threshold of 50 million also applies to you in practice, right? When it comes to value added tax and withholding tax, right? So I just wanted to put that out there before I forget, right? And for company, obviously they are the batter of them all. They owe all taxes, right? So the next thing I'm going to be discussing about is business name or limited liability. I believe and I know that I've been doing some consultations. I've even had a class before now, and one of the major things why people actually signed up for my class is basically to understand which is best for them. Should they be a business name? Should they be a limited liability? Should they switch? And all of those things. And the truth is, the answer basically lies in this table, right? Now, one thing I would like to state here, whatever recommendations I'm giving is based on my bias for tax, right? The goal of this class is to avoid tax, right? We're not saying we won't pay tax zero, but I will not recommend you pay zero taxes, right? But we're saying we're going to minimize our liability. Now, if you want to talk about liability, the first thing you want to look at, if you look at this table, it's quite clear that okay, if as an individual, you have only one liability, right? Or should I say, you have one tax exposure. That's a better word. It's not liability. You have one tax exposure, which is personal income tax. So by chance, by just the virtue of having one tax exposure, no matter what it is, you are saving more money than these two people, right? That is the idea. There's really no two ways about it. Then it comes to the next person, the business name. Right? This person has one less tax exposure than the company, right? Which means that the business name, by virtue of this alone, is has lesser tax exposure or lesser liabilities to when compared to the company. So for all of them, the company, right, the corporate body has the highest tax liability. Now the question is most times why are people actually advising what's it called people to switch? Okay, they're saying because I made a video, I think about 2 days ago, which kind of went semi viral. Like, people still on this topic? There really still confusion. So my take is this, right? The law is clear for business name, right? Which you can say is an individual, right? They say, okay, your threshold is 800 million, say 800 million, 800,000. Then anything above that, you pay taxes on it. Then for company, right, that's the argument. So then for company, they are saying, okay, you have to make over 50 million, right, in revenue before you pay taxes. But let's look at it in this way. By law, business name on its own does not pay income tax. While business name and the individual, right, are considered as one and the same person, business name does not pay income tax. By that I mean, if the taxman comes to meet you, they will not tell you that come and pay income tax on your business name, right? What they will rather ask you is, are you paying yourself, or how much have you paid yourself from this business that you own, right? Then whatever it is that you've paid yourself or allocated as yourself, for lack of a better word, let's say salary, right? Because we know businessmen don't really make salary, but let's just say you're paying yourself a salary to bring the class down to earth. So it is that salary, right, that you now pay as an individual. So by right, business name does not. So that's basically the kind of small loophole that is there. They will not tax you income tax under business name structure, right? I know I have made a video before that say switch business name and all of that. The only reason I would recommend you to switch business name is one, right? That we all know that how would I put it down? They've said they would what's it called? If you have 25 million naira monthly, right, on your account, transactions monthly in your account, they will probably investigate you, ask questions and all of that, right? And if especially you are not doing what's it called now? Certain transactions, let's say like the crypto people and the rest, that you actually need a proper financials to defend what your income is. Then by all means, go to a limited liability because obviously limited liability company offers certain coverage, which is the company is different from you, right? So whatever happens does not really affect you as a person. Even if the company they owe, just like the case of Dangote now. Dangote like kill all the truck, kill all the people. Nobody can sue Dangote. This is a company that is liable for all of those because the company is a different entity. So those are some of the benefits when you are doing certain businesses, right? Maybe if you are, you need to understand that even because it does not even pay, the business name does not pay income tax. They don't have things like tax clearance, right? Because it is people that pay income tax that they give tax clearance. The business name does not have tax clearance. The only thing the business name will give you is a VAT certificate, which is not really a tax clearance. It's just a certificate stating that you have been licensed to collect VAT on behalf of the federal government. That is what the certificate does. So my own point is one of the reasons I feel again I say okay you can switch is maybe you've been in the business name for a long time, right? And obviously you're a big business, right? If you are scared that okay, they will come for those previous years, which obviously, right? If they meet you before you meet them, they probably tell you to pay all the backlog. Then by chance to avoid that backlog, right? Because it's a win-win. You've been owing tax, you don't chop tax. So to avoid, then you can switch and more like start afresh. That is the idea behind the video. Not because your exposure is lesser, but because you are trying to avoid the previous ones you've been owing to start afresh. Although in my class, I also give people the option that, okay, see, because it's not something you probably want to put out there online. I say, okay, there's what we call commencement date when you're registering for your taxes, right? When you're registered at first, especially if you've not done that before, you can now say, okay, I started business this year. You talk to the tax people, they help you set up your profile, right, to look like you started business this year, right, or probably even this month, and you start filing going forward, right? So nobody disturbs you about your previous record. That can be done. But in the advent that okay, you don't want to do that, and you have a lot of liabilities. By liabilities, I mean VAT, right, which is basically the only exposure that you have here, right? Is I should even put bad in this PIT, right? Because this one and this one are basically the same thing. So basically that is the idea that I have. That's basically my defense. Okay, if you should switch or not. Like I said, what you should consider is do you have liabilities you want to avoid? If yes, then you can switch, right? But if you want to take the route of the commencement date, which is fine, they will gladly do that to you. It depends on your negotiation skills and all of those things, right? Uh, that's basically that. So again, business name does not pay income tax, right? The business name does not pay income tax. I know I've seen videos or even the our Oga Patakpata trying to like even a friend sent me a video and I told her that like the tax man, what do you expect the tax man to and another even beside all of those things, right? Whether you're a small business or not, yes, you will enjoy zero taxes under the company, right? But there's one big thing which is called compliance. Compliance for individual and business name is not serious. Nobody disturbs you to do audited financial statement. But the moment you enter a company, whether you are under the 50 million, you have to file because you cannot just tell the tax man that you are not making 50 million, they'll believe you. There's a process to prove that, and that process is expensive, right? For somebody that is trying to avoid tax, if that's the goal, you don't want to now. Most times, even the compliance cost might be more than the tax that you say you want to try and claim as an or try and avoid as an individual. If you had remained an individual, so basically that is the idea, right? I think it's almost about 30 minutes now. We just this is a 2 hours class, and I would probably like to have a few discussions with people, right? I think this is the best time to probably maybe indicate that you want to speak, and I'll start calling people from the group chat one by one, and we have those conversations. So it's a bit structured, if you don't mind, for our Q&A session. So if you want to speak, you can just indicate in the group, and I will call accordingly so that we don't have people talking on top of each other. Okay, so Mr. E, you say you want to say something, and unmute yourself and let's talk.
Hello, good evening, Mena.
Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. Okay, quick one here. Actually, I know they say they will tax your exact profit, not the whole revenue, like not the whole turnover, right?
You're speaking in terms of which business now? Is it business name? Give me
Okay,
context.
business name, business name,
Okay.
business
They
name.
will tax your
So
exact profit.
okay, they will tax because now the volume of my business is quite a lot. When it comes to 6 months turnover, it's over 600 M. You understand?
Okay.
But at the end of the day, it's me personally. I won't lie. I've not really been serious with my books. I can't really ascertain profit or loss, but I know that there's always money coming in. There's always goods coming in. There's always money coming in. So now I'm really worried because I want to switch. Meaning the reason I want to switch is putting my staff, my whole lifestyle under company expenses, meaning in company LLC. You get,
Yeah.
because I have staff under me, I have a whole lot of things. My life as a whole, I don't want to, because now I heard you have to explain everything you are spending. So I want to know if switching is a good idea or not. Because now you said something about that the compliance is actually tougher for switching and it's expensive, meaning you have to have an auditor that will come to your place and audit and all that. So I'm just thinking, should I still remain as a business name or just move?
Okay. So your business, are you vertical?
Sorry, let me
What
say
type of
something.
business do
Okay,
you do?
sometime around, it's like a boutique business. You get, I supply,
Okay,
I
so it's
import stuff.
vertical.
Yes,
Okay.
and I have an account on Tax Pro Max already. In fact, I have a login for Tax Pro Max.
Means you've already commenced business.
That's yes. I've commenced business. Yes.
No, in the eyes of the FRS, you've commenced already. That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
okay. Because the last
For you to
time
have a tax
there was
format,
a
they've already triggered your account now. Like you already registered. So mean you've already given you a commencement date. You've registered and they've given you a commencement date.
okay.
That's what it means if you have tax
So that
format
means
because that's where you file
okay.
with.
Does that yes? Does that okay? Yeah, I know. Sometime in the past there was this thing I was chasing and I had to. They say you have to pay your tax and all those things. So does that mean now I have to, like, if I want to move to a LLC, can I close this down without paying any arrears? Is it possible, or I need to consult for that?
It's not closing down. So what you do is basically if you move now,
Upgrade.
right? You've
Okay.
upgraded. So you by upgrading, you are basically starting afresh. You know, like I said, there's some people that already like
Okay.
a good example is you have liabilities, right? So the question now
Yes.
is, would you? So there is the option for you to go there and say, oh, okay, I want to clear my liabilities, negotiate with them. Because you came yourself, they might not charge you so much, right? You can negotiate something, but it's not cheap, right?
Okay.
You probably want to look at what you actually owe,
Yes.
then give you. You now have a, like I said, compliance is not very big. That's one advantage business can have. Compliance is not really very big when it comes to business
Oh,
name this
business
thing
now.
because, like I say, you are not forced to do what's
Yes.
it called now? Audited financial report, and it's not like they give you that certificate and all of those things. So most in practice,
Okay.
the enforcement is not very strong. It's not like they will not collect their money, oh. But if it's a business name as a limited,
They'll collect.
there are two ways they look at it, right? So that's just basically the idea. The enforcement for limited is the treatment is way different from when they see a business. That's the reality. And so you can if I were you, you might probably want to see, okay, what would they actually charge you if they want to. So what they can do for you now, because that's the only thing you owe. They can. I even one of the
Mm.
members of this group who sent me a letter that they sent to them what they do, VAT and withholding monitoring exercise. So from there you negotiate, they give you an assessment, right? Obviously you will drop envelope for them, right? And you discuss the assessment they
Yes.
can raise for you to cover the period that you owe, and you can start filing. So with business, like I said, because you really don't have that compliance, this thing, most times you can even be filing small, 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 small. They probably would not, what's it called? Would not disturb you that much. Don't worry if your network is not so good. Like I said, I'm recording this session, so
Okay.
we should be
Okay.
good. Okay,
So
so
can I ask you something?
yeah.
Okay, now like two other things. One, how do they ascertain your profit? Do I need to run my books on my own and take it to them for them to see, or what? Like, how do they ascertain? Is it what I tell them they'll say they'll take as my profit? What I tell them is my profit.
Okay, so for business name that you have, right, your profit is not
Yeah.
important to them because
Okay.
profit only comes into play when you're paying income tax. Remember, I said business name does not pay income tax. So your
Okay.
profit is what is important to them is your revenue. So if you go to them, the first thing they will ask you is bring your bank statement and they will multiply your inflow by 7.5. So it's not left
Wow.
for you to prove that okay, not every inflow is revenue. So
Yes.
for a business name, your burden of proof is on just the revenue because the only thing you're owing, right? If you remember this table, this is what you're owing, VAT.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're owing VAT, VAT is charged on what's it called now? On revenue at 7.5. So their focus is not on your profit, right? Their focus is what you own now. So their focus is on what's it called now? On your VAT, which is revenue, right? And withholding tax is not on you, it's probably what you're supposed to deduct from people that do these contracts for you. So most often than not, this is for a business name, this is actually your main liability, which is VAT. So it's just a question of okay, like you said, now you over 600 million. So you just you've made over 600 million naira this period, multiply it by 7.5. That is your liability, right? So that's why I said if you have a lot of liabilities and most times in this kind of negotiation now, even if you are very good, you probably say, okay, pay like 5 million, pay like 10 million. If it's something you want to avoid, right, you move to corporate. But know that by the time you go to corporate, you cannot avoid it going forward. You just have to come to that realization. I don't know if you understand. You can avoid the ones you've been owing already by switching to corporate, but going
Yeah.
forward means that you have to file properly.
Okay.
You understand what I'm trying
Okay.
to say? So those are the kind
Yeah.
of reasons why you should switch, not because you are trying, not because if you switch, not because of that 50,000 naira, I mean 50 million naira mark, because ideally you are not paying income tax. So whether you are a company or not, even if it's less than 50 million, you still pay personal income tax, which is what everybody owes. So it makes no sense if your reason is to switch because of 50 million naira, it makes no sense to you,
Makes no sense.
right?
Okay.
But if you are switching because okay, you have liabilities you're trying to avoid, you just want to start on a fresh slate and forget about the past, right? Because you've
Yeah.
been born again, and then you can switch. So that is the idea.
Okay. My last question for this session is that what is the need for LLC for a company? Because it seems everything is just going against them. Everything is expensive. Everything is the compliance is strict and or what is needed for them? Are they tax breaks? And also some businesses we can't charge VAT. Some businesses can't charge VAT. Or it's not a restaurant business. Let's say in my boutique I'm selling one shoe for 400k. If I write VAT on the receipt, making it 420, the customer won't buy. I know that yes, I can put it as hidden charge, increase the price more, then I won't write VAT.
That
But
that's okay. Continue. Sorry.
yeah, like it's stressful. Like thinking of it is really stressful. Or except I pay VAT from my pocket, meaning part of my profit now, and I share it with government. I give them as VAT. How much person want me?
So that is actually the challenge, right? For your question, let me take you one. You said what is the benefit of the truth is company has a lot of benefits, So, for instance, now if you take a loan as a company and the business you use the loan to do fails, they cannot come and hold you in your house because the company.
Okay.
So you were asking about the benefits of a company. There are reasons people. So when you are making a decision, right? Like I said, before, advice when I started, I said I'll be biased based on tax. But in reality, when you talk about business structure, right? Company has a lot. If it's business that used to collect loan, they can come and drag you in your house because business does not indemnify you. You and business are the same thing. But if you take a loan with a company, right? If the company does not have any assets to sell, you can declare is it bankruptcy, that be whatever you call it. Company can declare
Bankruptcy, yeah.
bankruptcy and all of those things. Nobody will touch your personal asset, right? You are only liable to the amount of contribution you have in that company and nothing more. You get
Yeah.
like I made a very good example with Dangote. Nobody gonna sue Dangote because his truck killed somebody. Dangote business and Dangote as a man, they are two different people, right? So that is one thing that's benefit with the company. Another benefit with company is company has what's I call tax clearance, right? And because of the way individual, if most people, right, the truth is, the reality is most people for individual, I mean, personal income tax they under declare, right? But for company, you because you want to probably use it for contracts, you want to use it for a lot of things. People actually, and because of the burden of proof that you are getting an external auditor to look through your books and confirm every transaction, the chances of under declaring are very slim, right? Even going forward, if you could even do it before, say where some people hide some of their bank accounts and they will not probably tell the auditor that they have certain bank accounts, right? But going forward now, the government already have all of your data, so there's really nothing to hide anymore. But that's the disadvantage. That's not an advantage. What I'm basically just saying, you have like tax clearance to show that you're actually paying tax, and these things are what you can use to do bid for contracts, get loans from banks and the rest. Right? People take you seriously. There are certain things you can't do. They will tell you, go and get your tax clearance. And when I tell you tax clearance, I'm not telling you about the individual tax clearance. They're telling you about company tax clearance because that is the one the company for anybody that is doing business, that is what the law recognizes. Business was basically built for small people that okay, they're trying to test their leg if the thing good or not. But interestingly, because of the advantages they have, a lot of people are actually using it for big business like yourself. So that's basically because the law does not restrict how much you can receive with the business name and all of that, right? So if you know you are not doing anything with government, you are not looking for loans, you are not looking to expand, you're not looking for partnership, you are not looking for any of this, you just want to do your business by yourself, then it will be wise to remain a business name. But if you know, okay, in the future, you want to do certain things, right? Do supplies for people, all of those things, then those are the reasons why people actually consider limited liability company and do things the way it is prescribed by law.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, I'm Mrs. Olawi. I would like to seek your
Welcome.
opinion on yes, sir. I'd like to seek your opinion on something. I registered a limited liability company last year, and
Okay.
I got my TIN number and all that. But since then, I didn't even open a bank account in that business name, and it's a farming business. And I've not opened an
Okay.
account, and I've not even done any filing or whatever since then. Now, from this your explanation, it sounds good to have a business name, but on the other hand, this last part you just spoke about, it means a business name limits you. It limits the kind of business you can do, and there's some certain gathering and access that you cannot, it will limit you from getting. You understand? So I
Yes.
don't know. Should I, for and with farming, in the first like 2 3 years, you just keep on spending and spending and spending. There's really nothing coming up yet, especially for somebody like me that is doing cash crop. So what do I do? Do I approach them to file for to do I do
What
my
do you have
filing?
registered? You have
A limited
limited registered.
liability company. Yes,
So
so
for farming, I will 100% recommend limited. Example, first of all, you're not vatable. The only thing now for farming you are exposed to is your personal
mhm,
income as an individual. Obviously, you pay regardless of whichever way you are. Then your company
okay.
income tax, and this one you pay after I think 5 years, right?
Ah,
For the first five
okay,
years, you are not liable to pay, right? Because they
okay.
expect you, they want you to grow. So there's really nothing to be scared about for a
Mhm.
farmer to
But what do
limited
I do
liability.
now? Do I because not too long ago, I guess they sent me a note. They sent me a text message that I should. I don't know. I can't remember the
You should come and
content of the
file or
message.
come and do, so basically it's a compliance message, right? For you,
Okay.
right? If you don't have a bank account, in the eyes
Mm,
of the law, you've not started business. No, like I
okay.
said, there is registration date which you did last year. Even if you've been operating, you are probably a cost center at the moment, using your
Mm,
personal money to finance the
yes.
business, right?
Yes.
It's not a
Yes.
crime. You've not
Okay.
basically, as long as you don't have, because the number one evidence the taxman has is your bank
Okay.
record. And
Okay.
right now, like you said, you have zero bank records. So you can go to the bank tomorrow and open an account and go and meet them that you just started business, right? Because you should be showing that, okay, zero, this is the day you started business and all of those things. So for your own case, self, it's very easy because if they try to check, they will see that you've not had any prior account or financial district with that business name. So it's a very, your own is even, you don't even have to give anybody anything. You just started business. It's not a crime to register your business and start if you don't have money, right? So your own is basically very simple. You've not commenced business. You've not commenced business.
Okay. Please, the second question, please. The second leg. Okay, there's this limited liability company. My husband registered it initially, so I started using it. So when he retired, he started using the business as well. So he has an account opened in that business name that he's using, and I have an account with another bank with the same not limited liability with the same name using it in another account. So what will happen is the whatever transaction that goes on that account, is it going to are they going to, when he's auditing the account, is he supposed to audit the two together, or he can just audit his own from his own end to pay the tax man?
Okay, so before now, right?
Yeah.
In your
Mm-hmm.
case, before now, that's what people do. Right? I
Mm.
know clients that will say, okay, it's only one account they want to declare, obviously because data was limited. But
Okay.
it's no longer new that the bank self will report to you these days. So right now with your tax ID or your for a company now your ROC number, right, which is the same thing that's everywhere. That is what they will use to trace all your banks. So before now it would have been possible. That's one of the things people used to avoid, that we reduce their tax liabilities. But going forward, I doubt that is a possibility because they'll be able to see all of your banks with regards to that limited liability that you open. So that basically will not be. So he will have to declare and file for all the bank accounts that he has. All of them will be audited.
Okay, so you have to add my own transaction from my hand to his own to make the
Yes,
total for that
for
limited
that
liability
company.
company.
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. So for me, I should carry go. Hmm?
For the farm, what are you
Hello?
carrying? Let's be clear. What are you
As
carrying
in
and going?
for the farm, for the limited liability, whatever that I registered for the farm that you said I'm not
Okay.
expected to do, do I need to write them or tell them that I'm into farming, that blah blah blah, or I should just ignore them for now?
And so I would not say ignore them, but like I said, you can even go and meet them, right?
Okay.
For you, there's really nothing to fear for you because again, you are not really owing them anything.
Mm,
First of all, you've not commenced business. So you can even email them that you've not commenced business. You just opened it, but you are still sourcing for funds. It's not a crime. You've not commenced business, right? You can do that, and I don't think they will have a problem with that. I will not recommend that you will not feel like you are trying to hide something before they'll come and define you. So yes, you've not commenced business. That's one. And when you decide to commence, or when you decide to open a bank account, you can go and meet them that okay, oh, this is you are commencing business. You cannot register and be filing. Although you are not paying, you will not be filing what they call a filing of 00, which is one of the things I will show you in the course, right? How to file zero and all of that. So you just
Okay.
make sure that you file all of those things to remain compliant, so that you will not carry what's it called now penalty igbese for head.
Okay. It's all right. Thank you so much, sir.
Good evening, everyone. I have a question, please.
Okay.
Um, my question is this: I am not in Nigeria. I stay abroad, and
Okay.
I come to visit, maybe spend 1 month maximum in Nigeria, then go back. My question for the tax: will I be expected to pay tax on my Nigerian account that just basically for saving money up and making transactions or buying things in Nigeria, but not like a business or anything, just personal things? Will I be taxed on what I have in my account if it's up to 100 million, 200 million, whatever, just sitting there or buying using to make my own expenses? Will I be taxed from that account?
No, 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 you won't be taxed. Tax is a function of income, right? First of all, the income is not in the Nigeria,
Yes.
right? So if it can be easily proved that the income is not in Nigeria, right? One, it won't be. You need to also note that the tax is not based on your account balance. It's based
Yes.
on your revenue for a period. So for an individual now, nobody's going to, first of all, they are not going to assess you for more than 1 year, right? So if you've had savings before in your account, nobody's going to come and be taxing those savings, right? So the
Okay.
question is for individual. Most the question that I'm going to ask is, okay, how much did you make last year? Most times, in reality, it's more of a discussion, right? They try to assess you. It's an assessment because the
Okay.
personal account is very, very tricky and very,
Yes,
very.
yes, yes, yes.
It's just it's not something anybody, even me as an auditor, I will not wish to audit a personal account, right? Because there's no limit to the kind of money that can enter there.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So that is the reality. Nobody audits a personal account. That is just the reality. So all of those people just say any money that goes but they're not going to tell you to go and print your bank statement and come. The only people
Oh,
that probably
okay.
even do that is not taxman, is maybe EFCC if you have money laundry case, right?
Oh,
That
okay.
is when they will
Okay.
do that. It's not the taxman will not tell you to go and print your personal bank statement for them. So do what with it, right? That's not what the law. You're
Okay.
supposed to declare your income, right, and
Okay.
pay your taxes accordingly. That is how it works. But for your question, right, you are not a resident in Nigeria, and
Yes.
so for you to be able to be taxed, right, first of all, you are either a resident in Nigeria, which is about if you are in Nigeria for more than 183 days, which you do not
Okay.
qualify for that condition. The second
Yeah.
condition is where is the income earned, right? Was it earned in Nigeria?
No.
Again, for your own no. So nobody's going to tax you based on what you have in your account. You send the money from what you've earned elsewhere, and you are bringing it. They want you to bring your money home to strengthen our exchange and our all of this. So why would they be taxing you unnecessarily for it? That's
Oh,
double
okay.
taxation.
That's good news.
So yeah.
Secondly, I have a foundation account that is being registered in Nigeria and everything. And I heard a lot on the internet about people should try to avoid tax by opening foundations and all that stuff like that. I just want to get more light on it. What will happen to the foundation account? Is there anything I need to know concerning it?
So when you have a foundation, you're funding the foundation account from your personal money. I don't think it
Yes.
has anything to do with tax. It does not save you. It's not a tax deductible, even for
Okay.
companies, right? Even let's imagine that you live in Nigeria, you have a company in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Opening your personal foundation account will not save you anything in taxes, right? The law is pretty clear. Even if you want to send money to your foundation, you cannot send more than 10% of your profits, right? It's not an open ticket to be sending money, right? And the only place, even the 10% of your profit you're sending, is not for your own personal foundation account foundation. Is for government approved. non-for-profit organizations such as hospitals and maybe all these schools and the rest, right?
Okay.
Not just anyone like you open in your backyard and you now say you are putting your you want to put government tax money there to avoid tax. It's a lie. You will pay the tax. So that's not how it works.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. So the only way now I'll be able to pay tax is when I own a business in Nigeria. Then
Yeah, you
I'll
earn
pay
income in
tax.
Nigeria or you live in Nigeria.
All right. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah. So I have let me quickly give you a backstory. I think earlier this year the FIRS people came and then they served me a notice that I was owing them, say, about 25 million naira in taxes. And I started running helter skelter because as at that time I was even very like it was strange to me. I was very naive about this whole tax thing. It was something that I probably had not even heard. Like I didn't know it was. Yeah, I know about tax, but I didn't think it was something that was we're dealing with in Nigeria. So long story short, I stumbled on this a friend that introduced me to someone that was able to help me resolve it backdoor. And subsequently monthly I was paying close to nothing. I was doing it regularly every month, but it was close to nothing. And even up till now I'm still paying until last week when he said to me that he would advise that I change my, because I have a business. My business is just a business name. So he said he would advise that I change to a limited liability because it's going to, help me. Blah, blah, blah. He didn't even really explain why he would. But I don't really understand how he was. What his reason for changing to business. I mean, like limited liability was. But I just went with it, being that he helped me when I really needed him at the time, and after that time they didn't come back. I was paying. It was helping me pay this money every month, and then he just came all of a sudden and said, madam, you need to change to limited liability, blah blah blah. And I just went with it. I didn't really ask questions. I didn't really, but what he said was that I would have to close down my business, this one that I currently have, that I should just I should close it down, register a limited liability, and then he will start, we'll start with the limited liability in January or in the next year. So my question, after I did that, I started seeing all kind of news on Instagram, where people were saying that people are jumping from business into limited liability. They know that, like they're like compound problem and like that. So I now, found you on Instagram too, and I was like, I guess I need to, speak to you because I really don't understand this whole tax thing. I don't know how it works. I don't know if I was doing the right thing by switching. I really don't know. For context, my business is a beauty supply store. We do say around 200 yearly. And like somebody mentioned earlier on, my business is not that kind of business where you say you want to do tax, you want to add tax, because people will run. The moment they see you add that in their invoice, they would run. It's not even me as a business person to calculate my profit. Sometimes it's usually difficult for us because sometimes we are losing here and then we are supplementing the profits from somebody. It's hard. It's hard. So I don't know what to do at this point. I'm very confused.
Yeah, we're listening to
What
start
to do.
something. Tomorrow now. Hey, why you know I'm important?
Mr. Sheyi, please mute yourself.
So like I was saying, I don't know what to do. Do I, I haven't closed this business name, but I already have this
Why
limited
you say mute
liability
yourself?
open. So I already have the limited liability opened. I still have the business name running, even though you had advised me to, just, close it up and everything. So I really don't know, where to go from here. I'm not looking
Okay.
forward to getting loans from bank. I'm not looking forward to, all of the other advantage that you said the limited liability comes with. I only jumped on it because he said it would help me as far as this tax. I'll be able to not pay some tax. I'll be able to not, do this one, do that one. That was the only reason why I
I
wanted to.
understand. Right. So, in all honesty, it will help you if I don't know when you joined the class. Well, again, that's why I brought this table out. Hope you can see my screen. Right.
Yes, I can.
What happens when, in reality, what happens with, first of all, with limited liability company, you have compliance is very strict, right? Because, like I said, they are giving you a certificate for compliance, right? So, like you've said now, you've been filing for a while, and you've been filing small money. Nobody has disturbed
Mm-hmm.
you,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you were
Mm-hmm.
limited liability, by the time you file at the end of the year, there's what we call a desk audit. They will write you to come and the thing that you filed, come and prove it. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Those are part of the compliance problem. We always talk about that. Okay, oh, there are people that are jumping because of 50 million. In 50 million, you don't want to pay zero tax. But the compliance cost might even be more expensive than the tax gone you're trying to avoid. But in your case now, you're over 50 million, so that's not even the discussion. The discussion is if you're under the business umbrella, right, compliance
Mm-hmm.
is not a very key thing for you, which simply means that you don't even. I wish I can even share. There was somebody that messaged me earlier today where he shared the letter they sent to him. There was even nothing like audited financial statement. What they said, okay, bring your bank records, bring
Mm-hmm.
your sales invoices, bring all of those things. These are things
Mm-hmm.
that you can easily manipulate. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
right? One.
Yeah.
Then, and number two, again, because the compliance is not strict, right? You can say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I beg, we're not doing a small business, we're just making by you. Let me just pay small thing, right? It's good that you're paying something, right? We should also give them that, oh, okay, at least you able to try before. You give them
Uh-huh.
something and you're good to go. But if it's a limited, right, the thing they will first of all do is your that 200 million that you're making, it will be in your financial statement already there as revenue. Even most times, they will want to tell you that you are making more than that 200 million naira, but that's a story for another day. So your negotiation starts from that 200 naira in the first 200 million naira in the first place. A business name, you don't really have a figure you're negotiating from. You're seeing the
Mm-hmm.
difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
In reality. But because you're limited liability, you've declared via your financial statement that your revenue is 200 million. When they come, they will say, okay, revenue 200 million multiplied by 7.5. You get that's
But
around
you, you
40,
keep
maybe
you, you
50
keep saying,
million.
sorry, give me, hold on a second. You keep saying multiplied by, if my revenue is 200 million and I'm multiplying by 7.5, that's even paying them what I have earned. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's paying more than I
That's
have
not
earned.
so, no, no, no. So yes, you are paying them more than well, but the argument is that money should not be part of your sales. That is money. The VAT is money that you charge to your customers. But because of the nature of your business, you can't really charge it because customers will complain. That is what you
Yeah.
said. So their
Yes.
defense is you are not. It's not part of your income in the first place. You are supposed to charge it. So you are supposed to collect it for them on their behalf. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So that is their difference. It's not so the law says when they buy something from you, collect this money and give it to us. That is what the law says. So the law is not saying you remove expenses first. It's not a discussion of whether you are making profit or not. You can be making losses, but you still over because VAT is not a function of profit. It is a function of sales. You owe it the moment you make sales. I
Yeah,
don't know if I'm
but
clear.
what you were saying is, okay, say I, for instance, I have 200 million at the end of the year, and then I'm multiplying that by I'm trying to understand, am I multiplying that by 7, or they're asking for 7.5%?
Yes, that is 7.5%, and you're multiplying. So I'm saying if your financial statement, every transaction has a line item. So you have your
Mm-hmm.
revenue line item. Let's assume
Mm-hmm.
total revenue sales is 200 million. When the taxman come for VAT, right,
Mm-hmm.
they will multiply that 200 million by 7.5%, which will give them
Okay.
around 50 million naira. So that is what they will
Okay.
tell you, okay, you are owing us 50 million naira.
Okay.
Right. That is what I'm
This
saying.
from next year now, are we doing this monthly I've been doing, or is yearly?
So VAT is monthly, right? VAT is monthly. The one that you do yearly is the company income tax, the
Okay.
CIT. That's the one that you do yearly, right? That's the
Okay. And
one
how
that
is
I
that
said they will look
calculated?
at company income tax. So that one is
Yes.
the profit one when you remove your expenses first. Then you now pay 30% of the profits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. And then there's also the personal income tax that they expect us to pay
Exactly.
monthly.
So why are you not stressing yourself with all of these things? Why not stay here, find do as you are doing currently, right? Find small thing, Then next year you declare something for your individual tax, and you are good to go. When you come, you say, "Ah, no vex, so I've been filing. This I'm not charging VAT. Business is not
So,
good." You sort
yes,
for
one
only
more
this one.
question, please. This
Okay.
individual tax now, is it from the money that I claim I'm paying myself as salary?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So that can be manipulated. I can declare
Exactly.
whatever
That's the
amount for
idea.
myself. I see. And
Yes.
how much
Yes.
are they expecting monthly for this personal income tax?
No, so I will not recommend you pay monthly, because even if you pay monthly, they will raise an assessment for you to pay again yearly. So since you're
I
a
see.
business owner, I don't recommend you pay monthly. I recommend you pay yearly, so that it covers you for the whole year.
I see. And how much are they
Yeah.
expecting?
It's not. It's like I said. It's up to you. You want to declare something reasonable and pay something that is not a lot, right? But depends on, I don't know the state you are in and all of those. So there are a lot of factors you will probably want to look at: where you stay,
Mm-hmm.
how much you say you are paying yourself, like you rightly
Mm-hmm.
said, and all
Mm-hmm.
of that. So it's not a particular figure. Some people pay it huge because they're using the certificate for other things. So
Okay.
basically, but it is the easiest to manipulate.
Right.
That's for a fact, and it's not very high most times.
Right.
Nobody, yeah, very few people that pay high personal income tax. Contrary,
Right.
so the personal income tax, I strongly of the opinion, I always say it, that is built for salary earners and not for business owners, because that
Right.
one they basically deduct it as source, right? Uh-huh. But for
Mm-hmm.
business owner, when don't know whether they make profit or not, I have even the business owners don't even know if it's making profit. So which
Exactly.
from are you?
Exactly.
So in
Exactly.
reality, that's why they say just declare what you are earning, and uh, the
So what
peace
do
be
I do with
unto
these
all.
limited accounts that I have opened now?
Shall don't open have you opened a bank account?
Yes, yes, he has, but there's no bank account, nothing. It's just the business.
No, it's
Just
just CSC you've opened now.
sorry. What did you say?
It's CSC you've opened now.
He has registered. He sent me the certificate already.
That's what I'm saying. It's just CAC you've opened. You've not opened a bank account. It's just CAC
No,
you've
no,
opened.
no bank account. No bank account.
So leave it now. No bank account. You've not started operating. You are still, just leave it. You may need it in the future. So
Okay.
just leave it.
Okay. All right.
Continue
Thank you
your
very
business,
much.
because that is the moment you go to limited, it's not go funny. Plus, he's a
Thank
consultant. He probably needs some extra money. So I can't blame
you.
him.
Thank you very much.
I have one question. Can I ask?
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
So I have an auto dealership I have with a partner. And auto dealership, so I have two or three questions now. Number one, we pay duty while we import those cars. I know that's what is called input VAT. Sorry, the VAT there
Yeah.
is
Impute
input VAT.
that.
You can offset it. Yes,
Yeah.
I understand that. Now we're a business name, and because we are making like I think we started making up to 600. We started this year actually. We had to start working on getting an LLC, not just because of the tax, but because we were looking at also maybe getting investors, which I don't even think we need anymore. We're changing that. Now,
Why not?
exactly. So, and from the people opening the account, they said, okay, that my business name still exists until I seize it. So, as long as I don't update my account, I can still be using the business name to operate,
Sure.
which is
Yes.
fine. So, question one, where I've checked our tax pro max, I did not see any of the VAT that, even though the company, the cars were cleared in our company name, I didn't see any of the VAT that was listed that they charged during customs duty. How do I get that? That's one. I don't know how to
Sorry, I
find
don't
that.
get the question.
So, when you clear your vehicle and they give you your customs clearance, there's a VAT
Yeah.
component there, the one I call input VAT.
Yeah.
It's not listed on the tax pro max, even though the agent asked for our tax pro max. So this, I believe, is a situation between I and the agent, right? How do I claim that input VAT? That's one.
So, personally, if you are saying, how do you claim it in tax promax,
How do
Abi?
I, yes, like if I'm going to
So
file for VAT,
what?
how do I say, oh, I've already paid
Yeah.
this
So
VAT for
what?
these vehicles?
Yes, I get you. What I
Mm-hmm.
would advise you in practice, right,
Mm-hmm.
is very tricky. What I would like, keep your receipts, file
Okay.
what you think you owe. So when they
Okay.
come, you do reconciliation.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So
For that one.
that's the best way to do it in practice. So keep your receipts, keep all your VAT this thing. Keep it very well, oh, because without it you can't claim it. So,
Okay,
so
so
let's say you are supposed to pay 1 million naira, right? And government is owing you 500,000 that you paid to them already. Pay that
yeah,
500, if possible. Say if possible, pay them 250,000 just to be on the safe side. So when they come, you do reconciliation, you pay the balance. Right? Don't overpay in the first instance. If you think they are owing you or you think you have input VAT, claim it when you can. Right? So pay less, and when they come, if they come for reconciliation, you can always reconcile with the evidence that you have.
okay. Because that
Yes.
that is what we are looking at as well. Because for car sales, there's no VAT. That's the truth. There's no VAT for car sales. I can't tell you buy a Corolla for 60 million and pay 1.2 million on top as VAT. It's not going to work.
But I think this
Really.
vaccine,
So we're
right, is going to lead to inflation, but the reality is people are also going to start to understand that the businesses have the obligation to charge. If not, they will not be paying it out of pocket.
okay.
It's more of a
Yeah.
cultural shift, really, but I think that is
Yes, it's
discussion for
something
another
people will
day.
get used to because as at
Yeah,
now,
wait.
our company has no VAT and there's no way we're going to file it. That's the reality of things. So what I'm looking at now is if we can even start by claiming the one we've paid during customs clearing, at least that's
Exactly.
something.
Yeah,
And
to
then
reduce your
look at, okay,
liability.
yes, and know the way forward. Now that's one. Now the way our business operates, we work with partners. So I could get in some vehicles and I give it to another dealer to sell, right? And when they sell,
Yeah.
the payment is made into their account and then it's transferred to us when it happens. They take maybe a commission or something. So we kind of distribute some of the vehicles. Those people now,
Okay.
who is if the car is sold by the partner, who is liable for the VAT?
If the car is
I
sold
don't know if
by,
it's so
I
let me
get your
say
point.
I'm dealer A. I'm a dealer A, right? I brought in vehicles. Dealer B needs those vehicles, right? Maybe he has a customer that wants the vehicle. I give him the car, let's say it's a Corolla. I say, okay, take it.
So I get what you're saying,
They
right?
sell it to their own
In your
customer. You know,
books
there's kind
is
of gatekeeping in the business where you don't want another dealer to have your customer. So they sell it to
your
their
customer.
yes, so they sell it to their customer and collect the money, kind of, right? Where there's transparency, so it's not a problem. And then they take their commission and give us the balance. Who is
Yeah. So I
responsible
get
for that VAT now?
you is your the product is your property,
Ah,
right? So technically you're not the one making it. So they are more like your agents, right? So I even ideally say you are supposed to that commission you are even paying them. You're supposed to even collect withholding tax from it and also pay it. So if you go and tell the tax man that an agent is selling it on your behalf, and they will not remove, they will say, okay, that commission that
wow.
where's the withholding tax for that commission? You get. So they are basically agents, right? So what it should have been is you give them your price, including VAT, then they sell it for whatever amount they want to sell it, then give you
Mhm.
your value of your invoice. I don't know if I'm
Yes,
making sense to
yes.
you. So
Yeah.
that should just be how it should basically be properly. So you give
Okay.
them your
So,
price with your VAT, then they sell for whatever was the one price they sell because they're agents. Then
okay.
so whatever they're adding on top is this thing, or they are selling with your price and invoice. Then you not pay them commission from whatever this
From
thing
it.
you then remit accordingly. So those
So
are
for
the two
them,
possible ways it can
even
work
though the
as an
money
attacker.
passed through their account, they are not liable for that car's VAT, right? It's the owner
No, 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 no,
that's
no. It's you that own the product now. They probably don't
uh,
even have a company name, sef.
some of
Even if
them
they
do.
have a company name, they can just claim
Yes,
that they're just agents. They're
yes.
just selling and making commission. So the only thing they're even claiming as income now is the difference between that's the extra money they charge. That is their income. They are not claiming the whole product as income. You now you have the whole product, the inventory value, and all of those things in your financial
So
statement.
that's fine. So if I decide now that some of my vehicles now, I'll claim that I don't own them. How does that work? Don't mind my mind.
Uh,
I'm just thinking.
Uh, no, so if you do that and you are not, so if you claim that you are just an agent, right? So it's just
Yeah.
basically money passing through your account and you are
Mhm.
keeping the difference. That's the story between you and your auditor that will help you prepare your financial statements to reflect
Okay.
that possibility.
Okay. That works
Yes,
too. All right. Thank you. So, oh, one more thing. Okay. I think you've answered it before. So the business name, I can continue with the business name. The company we can just
sure.
keep it aside. Yes. I will run that. All right. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Amina.
Good evening, sir.
Um, um, I know for a reason why you said something on your post yesterday. I think you were telling someone in your comments in the comment section that the person might eventually clear the limited liability company this thing after today's lecture.
I can be mean sometimes.
No. The thing is, I've actually been following you for a while, and I decided to register for this yesterday, just yesterday. I think this time yesterday, and it was after
Thank
I
you very much.
registered. It was after I registered. I saw the post. I was like, God, I needed to just be part of this lecture tonight. And the mistake is, I'm into logistics, and I started in less than 1 year, and I've only registered with one company that I helped to ship their what is it called products. I've been maintaining business name until 2 days ago that I requested for an upgrade. I've even sent the money and everything. As of this morning, the person asked me for the status report that normally come with CAC.
Yeah.
Now I don't even know what to do anymore because it's doing me like I should maintain my business name because this LCC is so going to put me in trouble. One, I don't have a structure now. Two, I don't have a company. Three, I don't have staffs. Like I work with my drivers, and if they do anyhow, I ask them to go. I take my key and all of that. So, what will be your advice? Now, I chatted while we're on this lecture. I chatted the guy helping me to upgrade. He said, work has started since yesterday on it. I said, Jesus, what do I do?
Why you shouting Jesus? No,
So
even if they
I'm
upgrade
actually
it,
confused.
the business
I'm
name is
actually
still
confused.
active. It does not invalidate the business name.
Oh,
That's the honest
okay.
truth. Until you file for cessation, it simply means that you have two different businesses.
Okay.
And that was
Okay.
what
Because
me
I
and
told
the previous lady just discussed now.
I
So
told
until you
him
file
that
for
please if
cessation,
there
you
is.
see that one is still operational.
Oh, okay. Let me just tell him to go ahead then. Because I told him, please, if there's anything you will do to stop it, I'm not requesting for refund. And he said, okay, no, I lie, it will charge me. So let me just in fact,
Is
why
there
on this
another
course? Why
question
on
for
this
you?
lecture? Why on this lecture? I have to chat him immediately. So I'll just go and chat him again. Now please continue. Thank you for this insight. So it does not really
Say this and
affect
that
the
is not
business name.
serious.
It does not really affect the business name, right?
No. It does not affect it.
Okay,
Just
okay.
open an account for it. Maybe you might need it in the
I,
future. So whenever you need it
funny
in the
enough,
future, you can now start afresh.
he's even my account officer,
Mm.
and he definitely can open an account behind me. So I'll just tell him to go ahead. So that means my thinking was it will upgrading means I will not be able to use the business name anymore. Oh, thank you for this insight. Let me go back to tell him to continue. God bless you.
No problem.
Hello.
Yeah, I
My
can
name
hear
is
you. Good
my name is
evening.
Atma.
Good
I
evening,
have some
Hassan.
question to you.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, I have some question like I want to ask you
Yeah, shoot, shoot,
about
shoot.
this about this CAC. You know, last year I registered my CAC. I want under limited. Well, I already opened the account, but I did not make much use of the account. I always started using about. I think maybe I started using the account. I think 2 months back. 2 months back. But I don't know
Okay.
about this tax bill. I didn't know anything about it. But I wanted
Which
to ask you,
CNC did you open?
for one limited.
Limited. And so
Yes.
once you open limited liability, you're already in limited, so there's nothing like switching to anywhere, right? You're already in limited. Now the question is, what taxes do you owe, right? Like you said, if you look at my screen now, these are the different taxes that you owe. At the moment, you are not in trouble yet because you basically just opened your this thing. You opened the business when? When did you open it? Last year, I mean this year.
I
When did
think
you do CT?
I think I already make the register like two to 1 years. If I can remember, but I started using the account because I already opened the account, but I didn't know making use of it. I already started using the
Okay.
account like 2 months
So
back.
okay. So 2 months back, I don't think you are in any serious trouble, right? But what I would
Mm.
recommend you to do is go to FIRS. I don't know. You
Yeah.
probably would have done that for you to be able to open an account. I know. I think for the past 1 or 2 years now, if you don't have a team and FIRS this thing, they will not give you an account, right? So I
Yeah.
don't. I'm thinking you already do have, but if you don't, I would recommend you go to the tax office. So most times it's better to go there before they find you, right? Once they find you, they'll start giving you unnecessary assessments. So go there
Okay.
and register to start filing your this thing, your assessment on a monthly basis, right? So the question now is, what is your revenue? Are you making over 50 million naira? Which means like, are you making more than 5 million naira on a monthly basis? If yes, then
No.
you want to file something.
For what I
Hello?
want to ask you, as for me, ma,
Okay.
what I think for a month, maybe like I think what I can make, like I'm making more than 5 million naira. What do you think? I want to know the advice that what account would be best for me to use? Is it the small business account or this limited liability account?
Or you have two accounts for the same name.
Oh. I'm thinking about open the small account for for the small account. Well, right now, but I'm using the limited liability account.
No, so you cannot
Before
open a small account.
before normally
Hello?
normally I use my personal account for my business, but I'm thinking about not about using the personal account because of this tax issue.
Yeah, yeah. So using your personal account, I will not say there's a lot of trouble, but just in case they ask you, the business you are doing, where's business account, and you're using your personal account, especially if you are doing business in Nigeria, it just becomes tricky because why are you using your personal account? It means you're probably trying to evade tax, right? So I will always recommend that is what business accounts are for. Now, what I want to try and understand, right? You already have
Mm.
a limited. Do you have a
Yes,
business name
yes,
at the moment?
yes.
Okay, hold on. Did you upgrade the business name to limited, or there are two different businesses?
I know the time that I do my CSC, I just go to the one of the limited. I often one of my CSC with limited liability. I mean the business name that I'm using.
Okay, wait, let me ask you. What is the name on? Sorry, what I'm asking is, I don't want to, because of confidentiality purpose, that you not be calling the name of your business. Okay,
Mm.
let's say business name is ABC, right?
Mm.
ABC Enterprise. Is the limited also ABC Limited,
The
or
one
is
I'm using
it
is,
is
for
it
example, the one
DEF? Is it a different
the
name
one
from the business name? That's what I'm asking.
for example the one I'm using like ABC Ltd.
Okay. So the business name is now what? A different name entirely, DCF Enterprise.
Yes.
Okay. So
Well,
there are basically two different businesses.
no, the one that I'm using, the one I'm using, for example, don't go on a business and on a LTD. At the end, we introduce the LTD, the limited liability.
So
Do
what I
you?
would just recommend to you, right?
Mm.
Um, it sounded like you have two different businesses. They are not linked together, right? And if they are
Okay.
not linked together, so even if they are linked together, as long as one is business name, one is limited, right? If so, for instance,
Yes.
now let's imagine that you have a shop, right? And for that your
Okay.
shop, you opened a limited account, you opened a business name account. That's even that thing people can use to avoid this, especially maybe their inflow is just somewhere around or under 100 million. You can use the business name to collect some inflow, use the limited to collect some inflow to reduce your, so that you don't get to the 50 million naira mark, because in the eyes of the law the limited is a separate entity, the business is a separate entity. That was what I was trying to establish, but I'm not sure I understand you, right?
Eh, let,
So
let, for example, now I'm doing this kind of on a transport business. because I have this truck. For example, now I'm considering of open account for the truck, separate account for them because I don't want them to put in their own money into the account I'm using for the business. Is it possible for me to do that?
Yeah, it's possible to open any account as possible. If possible, right? Just so that your what's it called? Your
The
turnover,
truck
because
business.
from what you say, I don't know what your turnover is, but it looks like if you split your inflow, your turnover might not be up to 50 million naira for each of the different aspects of your business. You might want to consider just open an entire business thing for just the truck business, right? So that your turnover is not a lot, and for your other business, you keep whatever you're currently using. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it makes sense for me. But for example,
Okay.
now, like I want to ask you something like, for example, what I want to say now for example, with the time that I'm using personal account, for example, I said that in every month, like I'm making transaction of 2 million in my personal accounts. Does that mean
Yeah.
that anything for that 2 million every month I'm making a transaction of 2 million? So that means in the year, this mean that I'm making the revenue that will be 22 million. Is it possible that because the what I'm saying my capital will be 2 million,
Would
but when you
not
calculate the transaction that I
understand.
made for one,
What you're trying to ask is the 2 million you're receiving in your personal account, will it be taxed?
what I want to say that the capital I'm using is 2 million
Uh,
for my business,
okay.
man. For every month, I'm one of the 2 million. When I'm making a business of 2 million, the capital is 2 million. But
Mm-hmm.
that means at the end of the year, that 2 million, that every transaction I make for that 2 million, at the end of the year, that, for example, if you calculate 2 million that I use the business with, that will make it 22 million. Is it
Yes.
when they're trying to tax me in the personal account? Is it they are going to tax me for my capital? I'm assuming capital 2 million, or they are going to tax me for 22 million that I will make for the whole year.
No. So again, like I said, it is you that will even tell them how much you made, right? They are not going to tell you to bring your personal bank statement and not be asking you what was the total inflow. Nobody will do that. It is you that will tell them what your income is, and you now pay taxes on whatever it is that you declare. So for personal income tax, they expect you to declare your income, right? Nobody prints your bank statement and be telling you that where is this money coming from? Well, no, nobody does that in practice, right? So that is just the reality. It's not feasible. We are not there yet as a country to be doing that. That is just basically as simple as it can get. So you don't have to really. So the only people that might probably be worried about, okay, would they not ask questions, are people that are doing 25 million naira in a month in their personal income, which is what the law says they want to investigate. So just even you need to even understand that in reality, compliance costs them money because somebody has to do this, right? Somebody has to investigate your account. So we don't even have that manpower self. That's another thing you also have to consider. So they are not about to be focused on small accounts. If I was the government, I would focus on big accounts, and they've made it clear the kind of accounts you want to focus on. So just by that alone, self, you are most likely on the safe side, right? And like I said, in practice, nobody's going to audit your personal account for audit purposes. That is really not the practice.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good
Good
evening,
evening,
Mr.
Christy.
Mena.
Good evening.
Please, I want to understand something. Like for me, for example, now, um, I run a small business, a very, very small business, and I do it in collaboration with my mom. I
Okay.
have to emphasize that small
The
because the
way you are
money I'm
saying
hearing
involve
this
me,
night,
500 million, oh, small business, small business.
uh,
Continue. I can hear
the,
you.
the, the issue now, where I'm getting confused I is like a collaboration with my mom.
Okay.
So we do it together. I just give her account once in a while, but the whole money goes through my account. I have a separate. I have up to 5 bank
accounts I'm running. I'm using.
Personal.
So one of it, I dedicated it to the one I do with my mom,
So I'm
and
asking, are they
then
personal
I think
accounts?
around 3 of it is for me, my own.
Hello,
Yes,
I'm
they are
not
my
getting you
personal
clearly.
accounts. They are all
Okay,
my
okay,
personal accounts.
okay.
Hello, can you hear
Continue.
me?
I can
Can you
hear
hear
you
me
now.
now?
Yes, yes.
I say they are all my personal accounts.
Okay, I get you. Continue.
I don't know.
Hello.
Should I open a business name for the different businesses?
So how many businesses are
Hello.
there? Hello, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay, it's just one business. Is and I deal with baby clothes, so it's just one business. But there's one I do with my mom, as in I buy it with the money as in
Okay,
the
she
money we
gave
put
you.
together. I buy the
Oh,
clothes with it. Yes.
so more
Then
like
there's
different
another one I buy
branches.
with my own personal account. Yes.
Okay, okay, I get you. I get you now. So, since you are doing business, honestly, okay, do you mind sharing how much you think your turnover in a year is?
What do you mean by turnover? Are you talking about profit or
Revenue,
just the whole
sales. No,
money
no,
going
no.
around?
Yes, the not money going around, more like sales that you make. How much sales do you make in a month?
I don't really know how much I make in a month, though. I can't tell
Gross
because
profit.
all
How
those
much
things
can
we
you?
used to
How much do
calculate
you
it.
sell? Better start
Okay,
calculating it. Though.
if you are not talking about profit, if you are not talking
Mm.
about profit, I think the accounts I run with my mom. If you are not talking about the profit, the accounts I run with my mom should be around 30 million.
Okay,
That's the
okay,
turnover.
okay. So
Then the
if
one
that's
I
the
run
case,
for myself,
mm, I can hear you.
continue, sir,
You want to run for yourself is that much?
is still around that amount too.
Okay. So the truth is, if you are doing 30 million in your personal account, right, you are one of the people the government wants to put an eye on. So, and if they ask you, what are you doing? Or you say you
Okay.
are selling goods and services. The next question is, why are you using your personal account? Right? So, by using your
Okay.
personal account, you are just trying to say you are trying to evade tax because you don't want to pay tax. That is the only reason they will conclude. So, I would recommend you open a business name, right? It's even good that you don't already have a business name already, which means you are starting afresh. So, open a business name, right?
Okay.
And for baby, you say you're selling baby things.
Baby
Hello?
clothes,
Yeah. So baby
baby
clothes
wears,
are not vatable. So
baby
there's really
wears, baby
nothing.
wears.
Yes, yes, that's what I'm saying. They are not vatable. Baby items are not vatable, right? So there's nothing to be scared about. It's
Okay.
only your personal income. Although you have to be filing, right? But you file zero, right? But the only tax you really be paying is your personal income tax. So there's really nothing to fear, right? So just go ahead and open a business name,
Okay.
and so that you,
But
you
should I
you
open it
avoid.
separately? Should I open it
No, no, no. You can
separately?
open. You're not. There's nothing to avoid now, really. If you think about it, you're not paying VAT. The
Okay.
only thing you're paying is your personal income. So there's no need opening separate. So what you can do is you open one this thing. Maybe you can open different banks because even if you open, currently now, whether you have 5 banks, they all see them under your name, right? Which is the purity.
Yes.
When you open 10 banks,
Yes.
all of them consolidate under one person, right? That's why I said you don't jump
Mm-hmm.
and pass the threshold since. So it's good to enter the open a business name. Once you get a business name, right, then again you're not paying VAT because of the line of items you're selling. So there's nothing to be scared about, right? Open a business name, then file your annual personal income tax, and you're good to go in terms of tax. But you just make sure that you are
Okay.
filing your monthly this thing, your monthly tax liability as zero, which is the so it's more like just compliance you are doing. You're not paying anything in essence.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we have like 30 minutes to go, so let's round up. Who's next? Obi, are you for free me for today?
Hi, Mena.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. So I've been following your discussion since. So I have a few. I don't know whether I should call it a question or more like, yeah, I think it's a question basically. So two different companies, right? So one is like work in the financial sector, like a small fintech, right? That's resell banks products. So majorly all the payments goes through the bank and the bank still charge the VAT and everything from these small fintechs customers. Do you understand? So in
Mm-hmm.
that case, we've not been filing VAT because obviously the VAT is not with us, it's with the bank. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So the few times we've had opportunity to talk to FIRS, we've tried to explain to them, but they find it difficult to always understand. But again, we just bring all the evidences to them, right? So my question is, in this new tax law, right, will any of such change when it comes to VAT? Because really, if all the while they've been finding it difficult to understand that these accounts or these customers are really not domiciled with us, that they are domiciled with the bank, right? So will anything change? How do we manage that process? Of course, we file company income tax and the other taxes, but it's just this VAT that we're supposed to do every month that we've been having issues with them, going back and forth with them for. Right? That's my first question.
Honestly, they can be stubborn like that. I will tell you for free. Sometimes I feel like I'm not even sure if they are hiring accounting professionals in that place. This is Nigeria. They just hire whoever they think they want to hire, right?
Yeah,
Most of them say they even know this they're supposed to, so they just slam people with charges. That's
yeah.
why you need to actually talk to a professional. If
Mm,
not, they will charge you. Like I was looking at this, that they charge one of my clients for a loan transaction. I'm charging 1% of stamp duties. Kilo day. So it's crazy like that. That
yeah,
I'll tell you for free. Most times they just charge you these things and they expect you to just swallow it. If you don't know what you're supposed to do, if you're the type that say, okay, you don't want to spend money. That's why I said company company limited is expensive.
yeah,
If it's not benefiting you or you don't need it for anything, you probably don't want to go that route because compliance is expensive,
yeah,
right? And these
yeah.
are the kind of issues where if you don't have a professional on your side, now you might probably not be say, am I supposed to be paying this? You not be begging for what you are not even owing. You
Exactly,
get. So
exactly.
these are the challenges, and they will not tell you that this you are not so. It's not their job. Their own job is you just they are business people like you. You are their customer. So they want to squeeze. You just the only difference is you must pay them. That's the only difference. You cannot shakara say okay. I know they patronize you. You
Of
must
course.
you must patronize them. That's
Yeah,
the difference. So you need to know that you are just should they did a happy customer week which day. So you are just a customer in their eye.
all right, all right. I think
No,
that's
that's the reality. So as sad enough, you continue to prove and prove and prove, right?
yeah,
And there's really nothing they can do because they know you're saying the truth. They will just try ginger you if you fall. And this is about if those transactions you already collected whatever amount you're supposed to charge, right?
mm,
If you put it there and you minus it from what the bank has already removed, it simply means it's zero now.
exactly,
Even if you were to calculate it, the bank has
exactly,
already removed it. So is
exactly.
VAT minus VAT is zero. So you're not
Yeah.
owing anything at the end of the day.
You know these transaction fees and the charges on that transaction fee where a customer get charged 15 naira, then 3 naira 75 kobo, making it 53 naira 75 kobo thing.
Yeah.
So that VAT, that 3 naira 75 kobo is always what they want to come for. And the bank has already charged you. So why would you want to, charge me that same VAT again on a particular transaction that has already gone? Do you get? But we're still dragging that. But my second question is a bit peculiar. So what I did way before they even came with the new tax law, I don't know what inspired me to do it, but I just did it, right? So in collecting my salary from my company, I don't collect directly to my account. So I have a business name that has been registered that that is where the company pay the what's it called, salary into, then I now pay a fraction of it to myself, to my personal account as my salary. But the company does not tag it as salary to my business
Mm-hmm.
account. Do you understand? So
What does it?
it just tag it as maybe for a contract or for a job.
Okay.
Do you
Okay.
understand? Yeah. So it is now that fraction that comes to my account that I now pay. Or the company pay from on rather, because the company itself doesn't even to the state um, um, internal revenue system. The company does not declare the full amount as salary before. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I understand.
So now, in that case where it's already coming from the company to a business name, then the business name now pays me a fraction of it as salary. Am I supposed to pay another payee from that business name side? Do you get my question?
So yeah, I get your question. So ideally, you're supposed to pay payee,
Okay.
right? But who really cares?
Hmm.
So why I say who really cares? Remember, business name. Why people care when it comes to company?
Hmm.
Again, it now boils back to compliance. Because
Yeah.
when you file your company account, you will
Hmm.
state salary expense, that is staff
Yeah.
cost.
Yeah.
Now, when you state staff cost, the first thing the tax man will ask you is where is the payee for the staff cost?
Yeah.
But for business name, you are not stating you don't have financial statement anybody's going to question. That's why I
Hmm.
said who cares?
Hmm.
Ideally, you're supposed to do it, but
Hmm.
again, who cares?
Hmm.
Because it does not benefit you if you do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you get where I'm coming
Yeah.
from. I'm not
Yeah.
saying you're not supposed to do it,
The do it.
but if
Yeah.
you do it, who cares?
Yeah.
You get.
Yeah.
uh So it does not really benefit you in any way. Although for the business name, if you probably have a location, those kind of things that might expose you, you might want to have some payee in your DC that you, in case they come, you present to them, oh, these are the people who are paying payee for and all of that, right?
Hmm.
And you're able
Hmm.
to just to avoid their wahala. But it
Yeah.
does not have to be the exact amount. You know how
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
package your payee this thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. Then for your company, there is you hope you know that there is an exposure for withholding tax for that transaction. If
Okay.
you are
Okay.
collecting
Now I'm
that
getting it.
transaction based on contract level, there is an
Yeah.
exposure of 10% for withholding tax.
So
I just
basically, it's
needed to
based
put
on
that there.
contract all the time. You might just see payments, just as if we are settling every other
So if they
customer
come
that
this
we
to you, they will
settle.
ask you what is payment for.
No, no, no. I think I should explain the complexity of it. It's acting as a bank. The company itself is acting as a bank. So just the way you have the settlement account and you settle all your customers. Oh,
Mm.
you like Mena now is transferring to maybe Tunde, right, from GTB to Zenith. GT Bank, the money now comes from GT Bank's account, their settlement account, going to Zenith Bank settlement account. Zenith Bank now distributes to their own exact customers. So this money now is now coming from our settlement account as if it's coming to, as if I am a customer, not necessarily a staff.
Okay. Even customers have, I
Mm.
might not be able to grab the full this thing, right?
Mm.
But even customers have, they might, depending on the nature of settlement, they might
Mm.
also want to argue that you owe withholding tax.
No, that doesn't make sense because if you transfer 5,000 from Mena's account to 5,000 from 5,000 Mena's GTB
Okay, okay, you
account,
said it's acting like a bank.
exactly,
Okay. Yeah, then
exactly.
in that case, it's not, there's no withholding tax.
So, but my major question is, this entity acting as a bank now is already paying payee for me. Do you understand? Do I now still have to pay payee from that business name
I
again?
just told you now, ideally, since the business is paying you salary, you're supposed to pay, but who
Okay.
cares? That's what I'm
Mm.
just trying to tell you.
Okay.
Ideally, you're
Okay.
supposed to pay. You can
Okay.
pay from 10 different places, they will collect it.
Yeah.
The tax man will not
Left for
complain
them.
that your pay is too much. They will
Yeah.
collect it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you want to look at, does it benefit you claiming payee in that
Mm.
place? It does
Okay.
not.
Okay.
The
I
only
get
place
you.
it benefits you is a company.
I get you now. I get you. I get you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
I have some questions.
Okay.
Yeah. My name is Michael.
Welcome,
So
Michael.
yeah, it's just three questions. I don't know if this has already been covered, but if I wanted to know what the VAT exposure for a remote worker that offers services to foreign clients, not local within Nigerian clients, if there's any VAT exposure to that. The second question is um, if you're under a business name, what expenses can you claim as as running business expense under a business name? Because one thing I've heard before was your PIT, like if since business name is kind of like a sole proprietorship, your personal income tax is usually charged first before any other type of deductions that you can make from it. I don't know that if that's correct information. Um, but yeah, that's my main question. Two questions.
Oh, okay. I'm coming. So, oh, I've even closed it. I wanted to show you something, but like the thing has been up there, so yeah, hopefully you can remember. So, for individual, first of all, are you operating your remote work? Are you operating as an individual?
Yes, as a
Okay,
consultant.
so
Yeah.
okay, so if that is the case, if you see what I was just sharing, there's no VAT liability, right? But let's assume that you're even a company, right? If the goods are not aimed, or should I say, the value is not enjoyed within Nigeria, you're not meant to charge VAT, right? That's basically it. Because you cannot be telling somebody in the abroad to pay you VAT. It's not consigned. I don't know if you get the point. So if
Yes.
your goods and services are not enjoyed within the four walls of Nigeria, ideally you're not they are not vatable. So that's basically it. So I wanted to so for your second question in terms of deductions, I would like to say again that most times it will be easy to say okay, personal income tax does not have any deductible expenses. But I know initially when I started the class, I was saying what they're basically just concerned about is your what's it called now? Your your income, right? So this is basically if you want to declare that this is basically where you put your income, and these are the things that you can deduct by law. So there's nothing like expenses. Let's say you are renting, there's allowance for rent. It's basically called an allowance, right? But you cannot say okay, you rent a house 3 million, you want to remove it, or you buy soap to clean your house, or you repair your generator. All of those expenses are not really recognized under the personal income. this that's why when I started, I said I strongly believe that personal income tax was designed for the salary earner, right? Because for the average business person that has every other bills and all of those things, they are telling you not to claim it. So if you now go and tell them that, for instance, now you make 100 million naira a year, you now tell them that 100 million naira is your total income, you now go and charge it 25%, 25 million. It really does not make sense. So in reality, they ask you what is your taxable income, and that is what you probably put here, right? So to answer your question, there's really when you talk about if the expense by expenses you mean things like repairs, all of those other things that I think they are, then no, you can't really charge them when it comes to personal income tax. This is what you use to calculate personal income tax, and these are the only things you can charge: NHF contribution, NHIS, pension, interest on loans, uh, and what's it called, life insurance and all of those things. And it should be worthy to note that this same table that is here is what they use to calculate payee. The difference is for payee, you divide it by 12 to pay it monthly. But for personal income, which is the director or the owner of business, you pay it yearly. So let's just probably do an example. So if you claim that, okay, you are making 10 million, 10 million is your taxable income, right? That's what you are claiming. I don't know anybody, even myself. I don't pay all of this. The only thing I probably pay is rent, and I can take a maximum of 500,000. So I put 3 million here so that they can give me my 500,000 naira allowance, right? And I calculate it. This is basically how you calculate it. If you have all of these contributions, you can claim them in full scale, right? but I don't do any of those ones, and I know most Nigerians really don't do it. So at the end of the day, at 3 million, at 10 million, this now becomes my total tax that I'm supposed to pay 1.5 million naira. Right? If you don't have 1.5 million naira, you might probably want to declare something less. Maybe you declare like 5 million naira and pay somewhere around 500 or 750. Right? So this figure now is what you pay as a business owner. This one, 800 or something. Sorry, this one, 125 is what you pay as a monthly salary earner. So basically, that is how it works. I
So
hope I answered your question. Okay,
yeah,
shoot.
partially. So as a business name, you usually have to file annual returns just to keep your company registered under the CAC. That I
Yes.
For a business name that has operating expenses to run their business, say for example the internet you're using, the electricity that you're paying for, and you have revenue, total amount of revenue you're making for that year, as opposed to also the profit that you're making depending on what your expenses are. Does that not apply at all? Or like all the revenue you're making, you're then going to be charged your PIT from that revenue itself? That's where the confusion
So
comes in.
that is the same thing. It's confusing because you're assuming that, right, you are meant to pay tax and you want to remove expenses first. What I'm telling you is that business name, as a business name, right? So let's assume that you have a business name and you put all your transactions, do your personal transaction in the business name, and you don't pay yourself any salary. With the way it's structured, you probably will not pay any tax. That's not what I'm recommending. No. But if you have a business name and all your transactions are going through there, especially if it's not, for instance, now you have a non-vertible kind of business where you service people abroad, it simply means you will not pay any tax because you've not earned any income for yourself. It is the business that those monies going and coming out of, right? With regards to your expenses, the law does not really care, but I will not say the law does not really care. The structure, the way business name is structured, right? You are not filing for income tax. So because you're not filing for income tax, you don't need to claim those expenses. I don't know if you understand. It is when you are filing income tax that you claim those expenses, right? That's why I'm saying when people say, okay, switch because of tax, you now, what's it called? You cannot claim expenses. So claiming of expenses come when you are under the limited liability, right? You have your revenue, you claim expenses, then the profit, you pay tax on it. But business name does not have that structure. Business name does not pay income tax. So the discussion of like what I was telling the person that just spoke before you, if you are a company, right, and you are paying pay, it will benefit you because because when they come and ask you, okay, how much your staff cost, right, they will say, okay, where's your pay all over? You need to prove all of those things. But for a business name, nobody's asking you about your income statement. That's what I'm just trying to tell you. Nobody cares whether you are making a profit or not. That's not, it's not a topic for discussion under the business name structure. So expenses is not mentioned in the theory at all. Nobody asks you about whether you are claiming expenses or not. What they just want to know is what is your taxable income, right? So it's left for you to probably do that calculation and say, okay, this is how much you want to declare as your taxable income, and you pay yourself, right? It's not even the business that pays that taxable income. You have to pay it to yourself first. Then it's you that now files your personal income tax.
I see. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
thank you.
Okay,
We have like
quick
10
one
minutes
before
more.
we.
Okay.
Yes. Can
Mena,
we
good evening, Mena.
come? Hello.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
Something.
evening.
Can you hear
Let's
me?
just take it. Yeah, I think there are three people now. We'll take three people and then we'll close for you. I think Ngozi, no,
Yes.
Purity. I've
So
spoken to
my
Purity today now.
my question is
Ngozi
Hello.
and
just
Wale. I think Ngozi then I'll speak to Wale. Okay.
okay. So I was asking, how can we book you for one-on-one? Because like me, I have multiple companies, but I didn't want to list everything here because of time.
Oh, okay. Just DM me on. DM me on TikTok or Instagram. I will give you the link for that.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Mena, please. I want to ask some question for my mom, please.
Okay. Are your mom supposed to pay
Hello,
me?
can
Oh,
you hear me?
I can hear you.
My payment is covered now because I told her I will get informations for her.
But we spoken to you
You know,
today,
I
Nabi.
told you yes, I asked you for me for my own because I run some as in just for collaboration with
Okay,
my
no
mom. But
problem.
now I want
Let's
to
go
know
because of
if
time.
you said that baby items is not taxable, right?
Vatable.
Hello,
Vatable. Not. I did not say taxable. I
hello,
said vatable.
vatable. Yeah,
Okay.
okay, vatable. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay, 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 okay. Okay, yeah, I think I wanted to tell you that if the thing applies because my mom is under production of baby items too. So I wanted to know if it's all baby items or under production because I do buying and selling. The one I was talking to you about was buying and selling. But she's under production of baby items.
Basically, baby items. They're trying to encourage baby production. I don't know, but baby this thing are basically not vatable. So yes, I think it covers her too.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay, hi.
Okay.
So Mr. Wallace, then we can round up.
Okay, yeah, man, I'll make it snappy. Okay, I'm a
Okay.
salary earner. I work somewhere, so that is not a
Okay.
problem. My payee is remitted and everything is fine. I have a company where I think I'm a bit confused. Is I have a limited liability company, um, registered for more than 10 years ago. We've never done any. There was a time we were paying VAT on a monthly basis because we were doing a
Igbo is
corporate
coming
business
for
then.
you.
Yes, we're doing a corporate business then. So when the business wasn't coming any longer, we wrote them to say that yes, business is on suspension for a while. And that was like 4 or 5 years back. Now, I have friends that I gave that business name to, I mean, the limited liability company details to, that they are using to do businesses. At least two of my friends. I don't even know what they are doing. I don't know what their turnover. They were able to open an account. They are running it on their own and so. So I don't have an idea of what their turnover is. That's for the limited liability company. Now I don't know what to do. Whether to announce to everybody, shut it, close the business name, and start the new life. I don't know. That is one. I also have a business name. I have a business name that I'm using to do food related business. It seems I overheard that food items are not vatable. I don't know if that is correct.
Raw food items, not like a restaurant, too, but yes, food items are not vatable.
If you are selling like rice, you are selling Indomie, all these Indomie,
Yes, they are not
chicken,
vatable.
Gary, raw ones, they are not vatable.
Yes, yes, raw vat.
Okay.
Yes, they are not
So I have
vatable.
a business name that I'm using to do that. Right. And now I also have I apart from the salary that I get from where I work, most times when you want to do visa application, you need to build a credible bank statement and so on. So I use my companies to be using. I've been using it to transfer to a personal account like a salary, with salary
Okay.
narration, just to build um, credible bank statement for visa application and so on. So those are just my issues right now. I don't even know what's the implication of those salary that I'm building. Secondly, the company name that I have that's over 10 years old, that I even have friends using it, the limited liability company. I don't know how to go about it. If
So,
to suspend it or whatever. Then the lastly is the business name that I'm using to run food related businesses.
okay, let's start with the 10 years old business, right? From what you said, you've already written to FIRS that the business has ceased operation. So the only thing that maybe if by next year they start having access to people's accounts and they see that you're operating, then it's a question of why did you say you cease operation, but they are still inflow and outflow in your account, right? So protect yourself. First of all, I think if you don't, I don't know how many people you give the account to. If it's one person, you might as well just give him ownership of the business, right? Do transfer of shares. so that he takes all of those liabilities and they leave you alone. That's an option for you. Or I just think that's basically the best way. Since they're operating the account, if anything comes out of it, they should bear the liability of it because you obviously are not using it. You don't need the name. So I would recommend you probably do a transfer of shares to them, right? And let them sort themselves out. Because even if tomorrow there's a problem with that and they write the worst, that's why it's a limited liability company. What's the worst that can happen? They will freeze, they'll put a lien on that account. And it's not your money, that is there, you're not the one operating it. So I really don't think it should be something you should be bothered about because you
I
let them
also
understand. So
I also use I also use at least two of those accounts personally, right? I use it to pay myself salary, and I move money to it, even from my
okay,
personal money, just to keep the account active.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's not for
So for your
business. I'm not
salary,
using those accounts for business. I mean the name for business for some years now, but I use it for my own
okay,
personal runs too.
I get you. You should, in the eyes of the taxman, telling that you're using for your personal runs, they really will not understand that English. That's the truth. What I would recommend for your salary, you say you have a business name. You probably want to do that with your business name because again, you are not filing any income tax there. So
Okay.
that your business that you use for your agricultural purpose, right?
Yeah.
You can use that for your salary. What's it called? For your salary maneuver, right? And
Okay.
I think that's your best bet, so that you don't have to now be paying this that you don't owe. Yeah, and even all of those your personal runs, possible use that your business thing to do it, right?
Okay.
And again, if you can give them the shares of that business, right? Let them take over. So whatever happens in the future, they bear responsibility of it. So you can transfer the shares. You might not be able to. I don't know. The last time I did transfer of shares, you might not be able to transfer everything, but you can keep like 5%. Let them collect 95% of the whatever risk that is associated with that business. So that is what I would recommend for you.
Okay. Peradventure, they are not even willing to take the shares. What happens?
It's your business now. Yeah, I don't, honestly, just remove your money from there. Like I said, what's the worst that can happen? It's a limited liability, it's not you. Right?
Okay.
Like I mentioned, limited liability is nobody's going to come and attack you for what a business is doing. If they don't want to do it, the company FIS can put a lien on that account and it not concern you. It doesn't affect you as a person because the limited liability is separate from you.
Okay. Okay. I got it.
Mhm.
I got it.
So
Thank you so much.
thank you too, sir. So we're going to probably round up for now. Same station, same time next week. I hope it was productive for everybody. I know that not everybody had the opportunity to speak, but like I said, we are not rushing anywhere. We are still here. We're going to be having these discussions more and more often. Thank you very much for trusting and choosing to spend this evening when you should be obeying, right? Choose to spend it with me. I'm really grateful. Thank you for the opportunity, for sharing my knowledge and also learning from you. Thank you very much. Oh, Frances, you are confused. Don't worry, you won't be confused. Maybe we'll start the class with you next week. I hope that helps. But if you have any pressing question, I will drop my main number I used to chat. This TikTok, as I say, this TikTok. This one is basically the one on my laptop, right? But I have another Telegram that is on the group. Let me quickly drop it now. So if you have any questions, you can basically. I'm a bit tired. I've not had anything, but I will surely respond tomorrow, right? So let's do that, and I'm just putting that you can ask your question. You can DM me here, or you can ask your questions in the group, and I will reply. So thank you, everybody. Good night, and have a good rest.